Hey, what's going on YouTube? PB the Fox here with the Ravnica Historical Society, back with another Historic Spoilers video. Today we're going to be taking a look at a few more cards. And first up here is Chainer, Nightmare Adept. Chainer kind of caught my eye just because this is a really cool card. I loved the book Chainer's Torment. I read it like 5 times when I was a teenager. I think the art on this card is an absolute slam dunk. And it's just kind of interesting. Discard a card, you can cast a creature spell from your graveyard once each turn. And then whenever your non-tokens enter the battlefield, if you didn't cast them, they gain haste. So it's just kind of a cool card. I don't really know if there's a great deck for this. I don't think we have enough Madness stuff yet. Somebody was talking about this other card, Asylum Visitor. A 3/1 for 2. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, if that player had no cards in hand, you draw a card and lose a life. So since this can trigger on both turns, it's kind of like the Verdant Force, or what's that new one, the 5-drop. That makes Saprolings, I'm not sure, but each turn, right? Like, what's it? Belladross Witherbloom does the same thing, makes a token on each turn, not just on your turn. So it's kind of cool. Madness for the same cost. Could go together with this. Not 100% sure on that. Just kind of an interesting thing to look at. Another interesting thing here was Freyaliese Skyshroud Partisan. It's pretty close to the other Freyaliese, honestly. I mean, it costs half as much, right? The +1 here is choose up to 1 elf, untap it. That elf and a random elf creature card in your hand perpetually get +1/+1. So that's kind of a neat thing to just put on a new Planeswalker. We'll see. Again, like, something I'm so excited about is they can tweak these cards if they end up not being that good. So that's really cool. The -1 is seek an elf card. And then the -6 is conjure a regal force onto the battlefield rather than oh wait, this is in Japanese. Oh no. Does it at least have a picture of regal force? No. Damn it. But regal force is when it comes in, you draw a card for each creature you control. Pretty good. I don't know if this is actually going to make it into the elf decks. I don't think it is like on brand with what the current elf build is trying to do, but it's kind of neat. Speaking of the current elf build, I'm not sure if we have an English version of this card yet, but it is a Skyshroud Lookout, 1 and a green for a 1/1. It's got reach, and when it enters the battlefield, seek an elf card. So yeah, very upgraded Llanowar Visionary, always draws action, and even has sneaky reach in a pinch. People have been saying, let's save and exit. People have been saying that the elf deck was 1 Visionary away from being really, really good. So I've got, basically, I think what this is going to be is these Ren's Run Vanquishers end up becoming those, what are they called? Skyshroud what? Skyshroud Lookouts? Oops. So if these are Skyshroud Lookout, you've got Shepherd, Llanowar Elves. I think you cut the Jaspera Sentinels for these. And then you've got War Master, Visionary, Clan Caller, a couple of Finales. I think I like the 1 Realm Walker. I've seen people play Growing Rights. I like being able to play the card that you can Coco into, honestly. If you're not playing Coco, then I can see more of an argument for Growing Rights. 4 of these Druids each, and then a Craterfoot Behemoth, or Craterhoof Behemoth, just to push it through. Some castles. Easy deck. We'll see if this is what it needs to be pushed over the edge. That's what I've heard, but I've never played Elves, so I wouldn't know for sure. Pretty cool card, though. Let's see if there's any, I know I pulled this up like yesterday. There we go. 40 new comments since I've last seen this. Blah, 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 blah. That's the same stuff. Same comments, just 40 more of them. Something else really cool that's coming up is Svyelun of the Sea and Sky. Not 100% how to pronounce this. Let's figure it out together, chat. A legendary Merfolk god. Really, really cool creature types on this one. A 3/4 for 3. It has indestructible as long as you control at least 2 other merfolk. So if you go 1, 2, 3, this thing has indestructible, which is pretty cool. Whenever the Svyelun attacks, draw a card, which is pretty cool too. And then other merfolk you control have ward +1. Unfortunately, I don't see this being in the merfolk deck. I've got a list here that we can talk about. This is something that I've worked on myself. Pull up the sideboard here too. My 1-drops, we've got Mistcloak Herald and Kumena Speaker. These are just like the premier 1-drops. They're not that bad, right? As far as aggressive 1-drop goes, they're both pretty good. I like the 3 Spell Pierce, just kind of the same as when I play Blue-White Auras. It's very good against the sweepers and other just like random things. It's not really dead in any matchup other than like mono black. These are pretty miserable to draw. And like against Phoenix, you don't necessarily want these, but you can still snag things like you have to play differently, right, to leave your Spell Pierce mana open early. But if you can snag Expressive Iteration with Spell Pierce, it's not that horrible. And then Silvergill Adept, Trickster, Merfolk Branchwalker. So the other card I wanted to talk about that's way more exciting is Master of the Pearl Trident. Just a 2/2 for 2. Other Merfolk creatures you control get +1/+1 and have Island Walk. So I'm pretty sure what happens is we take these Branchwalkers out because Silvergill Adept is better than Branchwalker, I think. This one you can play late game off the top, unlike this. Like, well, that's 5 mana, right? But I think I'd rather draw a card than explore. Reveal the top card. If it's a land, you draw it. Otherwise, you don't get it, right? So it's only drawing a card if it's a land. This one's just putting a card in your hand. These come out. The other Lord goes in. Then we've got 4 Lords, right? Regery, Mistbinder, Master. Then we've got 2 Glasspool Mimics to either copy our Rege or, you know, whatever Lord we end up. Or we can... I think we play this, Trickster. This seems still pretty good. It flashes in, and then you can tap something and lose all the abilities, right? Blah, blah. Trick it down. This card, I think, just seems good enough to keep. Glasspool Mimic, also good enough to keep. Helps us keep our land count low with the 2 cheater lands on the backside. And then this card's actually just really good. And then as far as Brazen Borrower goes, I hate that this isn't a Merfolk, but I don't think we can justify not playing this card in a blue-green tempo deck. It bounces blockers, and then there are other random permanent cards that we want to deal with. And I think this is a really good catch-all answer that can bounce something out of your way for the turn you need, and then also it attacks, and it flashes in. So it's pretty good. 4 Collected Companies, because I think being in green, not so much for this anymore, I guess, right? But being in green for Mistbinder and Kumena's Speaker, I don't think we have quite enough Merfolk to go mono blue. I don't think, what's her name? Kopala? I don't know. Jeez. Oh, jeez. Yeah, the Warden of the Waves. Spells your opponents cast that target your Merfolk cost 2 more, and then abilities cost 2 more. I don't think this and the new Svyelun, however we pronounce this, are enough for us to go mono blue. The power of Collected Company is just worth more, I think, than having like a pseudo ward. But I think like Kira Great Glass Spinner can go in your sideboard. I guess this could just be Kopala too. It's a little less synergistic with all the Lords, but a little better with just like hard stopping. Sometimes the control decks, sometimes like Mono Black doesn't really want to see Kira out there. Other stuff in the sideboard, Mystical Dispute, just because this card's so good. Kumena is in here. It's mostly a joke, but hear me out. If you expect to run into a lot of aggro, either mirror matches, like if Merfolk actually gets really good, or against like green-white decks or green-red decks, or if like mono-red starts getting really good and floods the board with creatures, it's just nice to have something big that doesn't die to any of the 3 damage removal, that can draw you cards, sneak itself through to actually end the game, and then make your team huge if that's what you need instead. Usually you're not tapping 5 untapped Merfolk to pump your team. Usually you're tapping 1 to attack with Kumena and then tapping 3 to draw the card. But I guess if you really wanted to, you could put the counters everywhere. Got some Scavenging Oozes and some Relics. These are kind of redundant. This sideboard's like really rough. Return to Nature's in here. 1 Spell Pierce to fill this out. Not quite sure. Like, this is all pretty up in the air. Obviously, a lot of changes would be made depending on what the metagame looks like. And then the mana base, I don't have all of the cards here, so, you know, use your own discretion for these. I don't know if you actually need to play the pathways. If you've got 12 sources here, like, that gives you 12, 13, 14, 15 green sources for Kumena's Speaker on turn 1. It's probably good enough. But we'll see. I'm excited just because I think they're both only coming in at rare, right? Oh no, that's mythic. Yikes. And these are rare, but I'm willing to spend 4 rares to see if Merfolk actually gets a little bit of gas and is worth playing. We'll see. We'll see. And then the last thing we're going to talk about today is Harmonic Prodigy. This is so cool. Coming in with Seasoned Pyromancer. I don't know, we didn't really talk about Seasoned Pyromancer before, but it's a 2/2 for 3. When it enters the battlefield, discard 2 cards, then draw 2 cards. For each non-land card you discard, you create a 1/1 spark, right? Or 1/1 elemental creature token. Oh, it doesn't have haste, but that's okay. And then when it's dead, you can pay 5 mana and exile it from your graveyard to create 2 more 1/1s. The interesting thing is that Harmonic Prodigy has prowess, which is already like aggressive enough, right? A 1/3 for 2 with prowess is not that bad. And then if an ability of a shaman or another wizard you control triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. So I started looking at, well, what shamans and wizards do we have available to do cool stuff with? This is the first one that pops up, right? So not only when it enters, right, turn 2, turn 3, these curve perfectly. So when this thing comes down, you discard 2, draw 2, then you discard 2, draw 2. Then you make a single token for each non-land you discarded, but possible to get 3 or even 4 1/1 tokens off of this, right? Getting 6 mana for 3 or 6 power for 3 mana is pretty big. And then I have another list. Where is it? It is unfinished. Is it this new deck? Yeah, so here's a bunch of other cool stuff that works with the new, what is it called again? I already forgot. Harmonic Prodigy. If your abilities trigger, they trigger an additional time. So Soulscar Mage has prowess. Anything with prowess, basically, right? Your prowess triggers trigger an additional time on everybody except the Prodigy. So that's pretty cool. Another good example was Redragonauts or Umara Mystic, which is actually a wizard in itself. Pretty good. This has like double prowess a little bit. Dreadhorde Arcanist is a wizard, so the attack trigger to cast spells out of your graveyard will trigger an additional time. Vyashino Pyromancer is a wizard, so its ETB of dealing 2 damage would hit another time. Young Pyromancer is a shaman, so you make double sparks off this thing. Wizard's Retort and Wizard's Lightning, I mean, if we're going to be building a wizard deck, we might want to run those. This one's pretty bad. I don't know if we actually care about playing Retort or if we're even in blue at all, right? This thing maybe makes it worth it to play blue, but I'm not sure. But we want Wizard's Lightning for sure. Goblin Ruin Blaster happens to be a shaman, so like I don't know if this is worth it out of the sideboard, but it's pretty interesting. Gutter Snipe is a shaman, so we end up doing 4 damage per cast with that. Pretty cool. We already talked about these. So that's that. Kind of some more interesting things. Some of it I don't think is as good. Like this, I don't think quite good enough. I think that is, though. This, we'll see how the deck works out. Maybe not. But Young Pyromancer, like these 3 and kind of this one, I think stand out as like really good cards to copy or to combo here with Harmonic Prodigy. So that's pretty interesting. Let's take a look real quick and see if anything new came up. I don't think so. I'm heartbroken that this card didn't get added. Yeah, a lot of people probably are. Is it fully spoiled yet? Let's just take a quick peek. Yeah, like Goblin Dark Dwellers is spoiled, but I don't really care about that. Oh, what's the other one? Oh, is it the... Yeah, Mana Gorger Phoenix we already talked about. Pretty cool. Yeah, looks like that's it. So, pretty interesting stuff today. I'm most excited, I think, for the new Merfolk, just because, like I said, I've had that Merfolk deck put together for a while. I actually really like it. So the fact that it's getting a little bit more gas, really, really cool. Really cool. I think like Branchwalker's always been kind of a real mediocre card, like pretty decent in standard, not exciting in historic. So getting to replace that with just a straight Lord, especially Island Walking Lord, pretty big. I think that's the first example of land walk that we've got on Arena. So that's really cool. And then getting that new 3-drop, which is really good against control decks. Probably going to be in the sideboard, maybe in the main. I'll try to squeeze it in here. I'm not sure if we'll get it to fit. But very excited to see that. We'll end the video by opening a few packs that I've been saving up. See if we get anything exciting. That's cool. Some of those jumpstart cards, we're just loading up our wild cards for that. Hobgoblin Bandit Lord. Señor Hobgoblin de los Banditos. Whatever it was. That was so hilarious. The Spanish preview. The Book of Exalted Deeds, there we go. Although I don't know if that's actually going to be good enough, but I'm glad we've got one. I need the Book of Vile Darkness, too, because I really want the Exodia deck to be a thing. Ooh, yeah, that card's good. Happy to see that card, in case we start playing Standard, which I'm pretty sure we're gonna. Pretty sure we're gonna be playing Standard. Yeah, the deck of many things, meh. That's how I feel about that. I don't want to roll dice. I want to play cards. And then white. I like this name's just white. I guess there's a lot of stuff like that. That's just, you know, white. Or whatever the monster's name is. Is there another one here? No. But alright, we almost have another mythic. So it'd be 28 and 20. That's a lot. That's going to be it for today's video. Did we take a peek at the daily deals? Oh yeah, we did. Oh yeah, we did. That's right. I didn't buy it yet though. Free 500 gold, which means we have 900. Ooh, I should have got 100 more gold. We could have got another pack. But I think I did all my dailies for the day. Yeah, so I can win one of these. I'll get to open one in secret. But that's going to be it for today, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for checking out the spoilers with us. Let me know in the comments, what are you all excited to be building? The spoilers, I think, are almost done for the new stuff. We've probably got a little bit more. I don't keep track of it on like a spreadsheet or anything. So I guess let me know in the comments if it's fully spoiled by now. If not, is there any last hope holdouts that anybody has to see? I don't know. I know, like, I knew we weren't going to get any of the, like, the Force of Negation set or the Evoke set, which is good. I thought maybe the Evoke creatures. Maybe. I'm glad they didn't do it, though. Definitely not Force of Negation, Force of Vigor, all that stuff. No way. So, pretty cool. I'm really excited for Historic. We've got 9 days left until the release, the official release. We're going to be running all week. All week, we're going to be doing Jumpstart events, just grinding up cards, and we're going to be playing Historic, too. We'll probably just stream, and we'll do some YouTube. But we'll figure that out next week. We'll see you all back here tomorrow for hopefully some more spoilers and whatever other content we can scrape together until Jumpstart Historic Horizons comes out. As always, I've been PB the Fox with the Ravnica Historical Society. You've all been awesome, and we'll see you here on Wednesday. Take care.